Ever find yourself glued to those spy movies, wondering what it'd really be like in that world of secrets and shadows? Well, get ready to trade those Hollywood fantasies for some seriously fascinating facts as we dive deep into the world of intelligence officers. And our guide for this mission. RoleCatcher, they've got this career guide that's not messing around, giving us the real deal on what it takes to be an intelligence officer. So if you're ready to ditch the trench coat and grab some real-world insights, buckle up. Now, I always thought intelligence officers were all about high-stakes chases and cracking cryptic codes. But RoleCatcher spills the beans on what they really do, and get this, it involves a lot more paperwork than you'd think.
Yeah, no, it sounds crazy, right? But those reports, those files, all that meticulous record keeping, that's the backbone of intelligence work. It's not just about gathering intel, it's about connecting the dots, building a case, and that takes serious organizational skills.
Makes you appreciate the unsung heroes behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
But this career definitely demands more than just being organized. RoleCatcher highlights some pretty crucial skills, like critical thinking and communication. Those could make or break a mission.
Absolutely. One day you might be interviewing a high-level source, the next you're writing a report that ends up on the president's desk.
Talk about pressure. And speaking of changing times, it's not all about shadowy meetings and decoding messages by hand anymore, is it? RoleCatcher really emphasized how much technology has impacted the game.
It's a whole new world out there. Forget cracking codes with pen and paper. Today's intelligence officers need to be fluent in data analysis software, sifting through mountains of information. Think social media posts, satellite imagery, massive databases. It's about spotting the patterns in all that data.
They're less cloak and dagger and more Silicon Valley then. Are we recruiting tech geniuses straight from MIT now?
Well, RoleCatcher points out a fascinating mix of educational backgrounds. I mean, sure, international relations or criminal justice makes sense, but get this, linguistics is super valuable too.
Hold on, really? Linguistics? So instead of learning how to say the jig is up in 10 languages, it's more about cultural nuances and stuff.
Exactly. It's about understanding cultural cues, deciphering communication strategies, and yeah, knowing your way around a database definitely helps too. That's where those computer science skills come in.
It really changes how you picture the job, right? It's not just about being James Bond with gadgets. It's about using your brain in a whole new way. But let's be real, this career isn't all glamorous globetrotting and high-tech toys. RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat things with their pros and cons list, and it's a good reality check for anyone considering this line of work. So it sounds like a pretty demanding job. What's the real day-to-day like for an intelligence officer? RoleCatcher gets into the nitty-gritty with their pros and cons list, and it's definitely eye-opening.
Yeah, you're not exactly sipping martinis and playing poker while saving the world. RoleCatcher doesn't shy away from the tough stuff, like the insane hours, the high-pressure environment, and the risks that come with the territory.
Right. It's not for the faint of heart. RoleCatcher really emphasizes the need for mental resilience. And not just your average, I need a coffee kind of resilience. We're talking dealing with intense situations, navigating global politics, maybe even facing some tough ethical choices.
It's about making those critical decisions, often with limited information, and being able to adapt quickly when things change, which they always do. You need that inner strength, that ability to stay calm under pressure.
So let's say someone's up for the challenge. They're intrigued by all this. How do they even get started in the world of intelligence? I mean, it's not like there's a careers in espionage website, right?
Well, not exactly, but RoleCatcher has a whole section on getting started, and let me tell you, it's competitive. Think of it like, I don't know, a high-stakes game of chess, but with global security at stake.
Okay, intense. So what do they recommend?
Networking is huge. I mean, you're trying to break into this world that's all about secrets, right? So you've got to make connections, show people you're serious, and never underestimate real-world experience. RoleCatcher talks about internships with intelligence agencies, law enforcement, even research projects that let you flex those analytical skills.
That makes sense. You know what I thought was really cool? RoleCatcher has this reverse matching thing. It's like a dating app, but for your career. Employers can actually find you based on your skills and experience.
It's kind of like having a secret agent whispering your name in the right ears. But hey, just like dating, first impressions matter, right? Your online presence has to be top-notch. Highlight those skills, showcase your experience, make it impossible to ignore you.
Okay, so you've nailed the online presence, you've got some experience under your belt, and suddenly you get that call, that invitation to the interview. What can you expect? I mean, it's not your average job interview, right?
It's definitely a different league.
RoleCatcher gives a glimpse into the interview process, and they stress the importance of being prepared. Like, really prepared. Generic answers won't cut it here. You've got to know your stuff.
It's about showing them you can think on your feet, analyze a situation, make a tough call under pressure. That's what makes a great intelligence officer.
So it's not enough to just have the knowledge. You need to show them you're not just reciting facts.
Right. It's one thing to read about it, but can you actually handle the pressure? Can you make those judgment calls when it really matters? That's what they want to see.
It's like the difference between watching James Bond and actually being Bond. So we've gone deep on intelligence officers, and it's way more complex than the movies make it seem.
Totally.
It's this blend of fieldwork and analysis, technology A&D, that human element,
Yeah.
and you always have to be one step ahead.
And it's not just about being clever or having the skills, it's that moral compass, RoleCatcher touches on the ethical side of things, and it really makes you think.
Yeah, even if someone's not planning to join the CIA, those questions are important.
Absolutely. In this world where information is everywhere, where do we draw the line?
It's like what they say at the end of those spy movies, who watches the watchers? Well, that's a wrap on intelligence officers. Whether you're considering a career change or just fascinated by this world, remember, knowledge is power, but using it responsibly. That's the real mission. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and as always, keep diving deep.